Okay, so this is exactly how I'm planning to scale my clothing brand to seven figures through content, through inbound and organic paid content, and the goal of getting to seven figures. In this video, I'm going to speak through literally everything: the strategy, my plans, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and the first thing I want to preface is basically my intention isn't to make £1 million, but more so to have £1 million worth of impact in the world. And that is my number one point with this intention and the strategy is, first of all, is that I have a message that I want to share with the world. My brand is called One of One, and it is there to share the story and to share the message. Basically, that nobody is like you, and if you can get in touch with who you are, it's the art of creating yourself. You can do anything you want. So that is literally the first part of the strategy, is understanding that my brand has a very strong message behind it. It's the art of creating yourself and telling your story, of being one of one, of using your uniqueness and keeping doubling down on your unfair advantages, which is your uniqueness, is you being you, your one of one nature, right? So it's for the ones, and it's for creators, it's for founders, it's for entrepreneurs, it's for people who are creating and building things bigger than themselves, right? So literally, from a fundamental perspective, that is the biggest reason why I think my brand will work, is because so many brands have just cool product or mid product and no message and no story and no meaning. And for me, it was the absolute opposite first. We had the message and the meaning of the brand. I've had this in my heart for like 5 years, even for longer. I've literally been building this brand under different names for ages before. And again, I'm using that. I'm a big believer that I need to use everything that is in my power to help me grow. On my personal brand, I am telling that story. In this brand, I'm telling the story. And in like what I'm going to speak through now is basically our plan in terms of growing the brand through UGC, through affiliates, through organic personal brand content, through branded organic content, through ads, and through YouTube, and through the entire platform, right? So first of all, having the message. I believe that this is the foundation that everything sits upon, and it kind of gives us this identity and this foundation that that we are there to who we're there to be and who we're there to be for. Like, we are here to be one of one and to help people be themselves and to build things bigger than themselves because they are one of one. Then it's about telling the story and about telling our story. This brand is a message first, and when you buy a piece of clothing, you buy the meaning and you buy into the community and also the people that believe the same things as you, that being one of the number one value drivers behind the brand. And it's one thing I keep hearing like Alex Mosi say as well. It's like, yeah, great product is really important, but brand is so much more important. And product is part of brand, obviously, but brand feeling, brand identity, brand message, brand story is so strong. So that's what we're really trying to do. One of the things we're doing as well, obviously we have the brand story, but we're going into niche specific stories to show proof. Again, a lot of brands, there's so many brands in the game right now. It's a very, very saturated market. And I think one way that we are going to crack through is by showing proof of who we are and our message. Because anyone can come out and say those things, but it's a lot harder to come out and back those things up. So using me as the founder, telling my story, backing up the way that being yourself and being one of one has allowed me to see success and build my business and also build my personal brand has helped me. The way I see my life now because of being one of one, like using people as true examples of that, and also partnering up with different creators and different founders who also I've worked with or have also like been impacted by the brand and now live one of one, and showing it is going to be a huge like elevator for us as a brand that will take us from like a beginning kind of brand trying to sell clothes to a movement up at the top, which is where we kind of already are sitting. Because we've done a lot of events, we've done a lot of community activations and different stuff like this, which has helped us kind of grow the brand from a fundamental perspective. And again, which is kind of what I mean by we had the message and the meaning behind this brand first. And then I had the idea of You're Too Creative for 9 to 5, which is one of our designs on the t-shirt, as you can kind of see right here. You're Too Creative for 9 to 5. That's one of our micro stories. It's one of our niche specific stories that we tell to a specific customer. We've been telling that one story now for the first drop. That drop did well. That drop closed. We're restocking on August 1st. And the plan till the end of the year is to be dropping more products over more niche specific stories. The next one, which you'll be seeing very soon, Make Art, Make Love, Make Money. That's another specific story, which speaks to the lifestyle of the artist, the athlete, and the entrepreneur, right? That's, again, like the creator, the founder, that person. I know that customer really well. First of all, I am that person. It's that creator who is creating content, who's building things, who's designing things, that is building business and companies and leverage at the same time as being an athlete. Maybe they work out every day, or they run, or they play a sport. It's like those really niche habits create up an identity that's actually quite a very broad and popular thing. And honestly, it's the realm that I've wanted to be in my entire life, and who I've become over the past few years, and want to see what I've built my personal brand around. So that's kind of the quote unquote niche that I'm in as well, because it's who I am. So that's obviously a big part of it too. And the reason why I'm going into all of this stuff first is because you need to understand the context of the brand before you can understand the strategy. I'm now going to speak about the actual strategy that we're using to basically take all these nice words and stories that I've been saying and making them real, and making them be the answer to the question that you like. Basically, if you ask one of our viewers what is the brand, I want them to answer what I've said in this like first 5 minutes of this episode, right? Because it's very nice that I can say it and I can have it written down in my notebooks and up on my wall. But if a customer can't relay it to someone else, you haven't branded well enough, basically. And I think that's the stage that I'm in now. Some people know it, our super fans know it, but a larger population of our followers don't know it. And also, if I'm saying followers and you're like, oh my God, you got less than 200 followers, like what are you saying? It's like, mainly I've been building this on my personal brand and within the community first. We've only really started recently to grow the brand page. But again, we need everyone to understand what this is about, and that is done through content. Content isn't just posting for sales or posting for growth. Content is about sharing a message, and that is really the fundamentals of my strategy as well. We are moving into a paid strategy as well, because I really want to be able to kind of control the growth, and I think paid is a really good way to do so. I know a lot of clothing brands who are just based on organic only. I think that's sick, but I want to be both. The strategy that I'm running with paid is not a aggressive sales strategy by any means. My plan for this is to be able to run a paid strategy where we are simply running like almost follower ads, where we are telling our story and we are paying for that story to be put in front of more people. Then our process is I'm going to draw this out on Miro. I'm going to go through this in a second, but basically, like, I know, first of all, that, let me zoom in a bit more. Cool. I know, first of all, that if I see like one ad from a brand, I'm not going to buy. I studied this so hard, and I was like, which brands do I really love and which brands am I on the edge from buying from? And it's not the brands that I saw one ad from, it's like the brands that I saw 8 ads from. And I watch on YouTube and everything, and I watch on their short form and their stories and everything. So our goal is really to create this ecosystem approach where literally everything is just going round and round and round, and we keep kind of developing the process with every piece of content that we put out. Forgive the drawings, by the way. You kind of see what I'm trying to get. It's like a flywheel, kind of keep going round. So our ad strategy is very similar to this. You know, obviously we need an entry point into our funnel, and I always see marketing and kind of this personal branding and online money game as a funnel into an ecosystem. So the funnel's goal is to basically sell someone on the brand. So as they're going down this funnel, they are going from unaware at the top, so I'll just write it, unaware, to basically brand aware at the middle, right? They maybe haven't bought any product at this time. They don't entirely know what the offer is or anything like that. They're not product aware, but they are going from unaware to brand aware. And they are going through this process by selling them the story. I'm just going to write this story, identity, identity and mission. I think this is where my bets are. To be able to move people down from unaware to brand aware, they need to understand the story, the identity, and the mission from the brand's perspective and from their perspective, i.e. what's the brand story, but also what's my story going to be if I interact with this brand. Because the customer always needs to get something out of this. So what are they going to get by interacting with the brand? They also need to know the brand's identity, but they also need to know their own identity when they interact with the brand. I.e., someone who is interacting with my brand may already see themselves as like one of one, as the special one, as the chosen one. I think that's it's a common trait among a lot of creatives. But then the identity that they pick up from buying into the brand is that they are showing it. If you follow One of One and you speak about One of One, you are proving that you have that belief, and you're like, yeah, I am special because I'm being me. So it's like, it's the proof, it's the identity that comes behind it, and then the mission too. They need to know the brand mission and how that mission benefits them. So from going from unaware to brand aware is all about selling someone on what the brand is and how that can help them. It's so important, because then our goal of this kind of funnel into the ecosystem approach is basically to get someone to keep going round and round in our content cycle, because they understand what they're getting from the brand. So basically, them spending more time with us as a brand is benefiting them. It's actually providing them value. It's actually providing them tactical value. I have big plans of different ways to do this that I'm not going to go into in this video, because there is so much to the brand world of One of One that I want to build, and I really don't think it's been done before. And if I try and put it all in this video, it's going to become too much. But basically, our goal is to funnel people into the brand where they know that they are going to get value by consuming more of this content. Value can be connection, community, actual tactical stuff like frameworks and guides. So many different ways you can provide value, even comedy and laughs and jokes and friendships and connections, as well as the identity that kind of comes with it. So this funnel that we're running can obviously be organic, but it's also most likely we're going to be fueling from paid. So if we're going to kind of be bringing people in, we're going to be having videos up here that talk about our story. And again, the story that customer can see as reasonable when they buy into the brand. Because when they see the story, their goal basically is to click follow. So then they're following us, and then they see more of our content, which then educates them more on the brand, and then they buy in. That's our goal. And then once they buy in, it's just about, showing them more proof, giving them more value, and showing them more of our product so they can choose which one they want to buy. Is one of the biggest things that clothing brands are running, and the best brands are running. It's bring someone through that entire process of unaware to then brand aware at the middle, to then product aware, and then kind of going through that stage where they've converted, and then, that's just missed the pound sign there, like that, converted, and then they're into the bigger brand world, even down here, with just way more levels, which is a whole different game. And I think it's interesting, because this is the part I'm actually best at, is this kind of part of building the brand world and keeping people and building up that massive connection afterwards. But my main focus obviously now is up here in bringing new people to the brand, and that's why my goal is to kind of scale to 7 figures, because if I can get this top half to be 7 figures, then I can be this bottom half to be 8 figures, because basically what we're doing there is getting more people to come in, to buy into the brand message, to change the way they see themselves, which is a huge positive impact that we are trying to make as a brand. That's our mission. And then it's constantly reinforcing it, giving them more frameworks and identities and tactics to make that shit real, and to make it even more impactful for them as a creator and as a founder, and helping them build brand afterwards too, which is just going to be the whole kind of approach, right? So to actually get into the actual technical strategy of this, going to be running follower ads, which is, looks like us telling our story, founder story, brand story. Then someone follows from there, then they move into seeing a bit more niche about the story, maybe someone's example, maybe a UGC video of someone talking about it and specifically speaking about how it's helped them, so that customer can see themselves in it. Then they're a follower. Then they are following. They are in the organic ecosystem. That's when they're kind of going around and seeing different types of content, a little bit like here. I'll show you just in a second. I'll give you actual examples of what we've been doing and what we will be posting. And at the same time, when they are consuming this kind of brand building content, it sells them on the actual value, the brand itself, and the lifestyle. People will then be hit with retargeting ads of actual product, because as I said earlier, we're in this stage where they understand what the story is, they understand what the identity is, they understand what the mission is, and they are just going almost round and round until they see the product that they like. And then we're running flat lay images here, showing our different designs and our different products and everything, some t-shirts, some hoodies, whatever, and they're like, brilliant, oh fuck's sake, brilliant, that's the one I want, I'm gonna go and buy it, and then they're in the brand. So it's the kind of it's the overall strategy. I kind of hope this is obviously making sense, but our main goal is just to move people from the story that they are going to be able to get from this, the benefit, to them following, to them buying in, to them understanding what the brand is and what we mean, what we're trying to do, then obviously moving them down into a purchase, and then keeping them in the brand ecosystem, where they also then become people that we can put back in the top and help share their message as well. Like that's our goal, is to, you know, take people from being one of many, because I think society gets you in this mindset of not listening to yourself, not realizing how powerful that you are. We want to get people to realize how powerful they are, the art of creating yourself, that almost anything is possible by the way that you change the story that you tell. Realizing you are one of one, and that's where your power is. To then, like, realizing it, making the step, like that's step one, buying into the clothing to prove that you've made that step. And then we have step two, which is the art of telling your story, building your personal brand, building your social presence, telling your story, building and finding like-minded people who are then also one of one, and then sharing your story of how you became one of one to help more people become one of one. Because our entire goal here is to just bring more individuality and more specific uniqueness, and realize that everyone's competitive advantage is them being themselves. So it's kind of for those people, those creators, those founders, helping them realize that they are one of one, and then sharing that message again and again and again. So it creates that flywheel effect, where that is going to help us have the biggest impact on the world. Like I said earlier, yes, we talk about 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever the hell, but our real goal is to help people realize that they are one of one, because as soon as I realized that I'm one of one for myself, everything in my life changed. My confidence, my relationship, my business, my life, just everything. And like, I'm only 20. And then seeing where that's going to take me over the next decade and multiple decades, it just actually gives me goosebumps to see that the shit that I can achieve because I'm being me is unbelievable. And me listening to myself and using my uniqueness to help me do those things is even better, because it means that I can do shit that no one else can build, and I can appreciate what other people are doing instead of being jealous of them because they're doing other shit that only they can do, which is awesome. Anyway, that's a yap of the brand. I want to show you some content which is basically me sharing what that story is, which is kind of within this organic flywheel here in the middle. We're not running ads as of yet. We are launching ads on August 1st, which is when we are restocking our drop. So that's when I will kind of update you on how that's going as well. So let me show you this video right here. This is kind of an example. This is a terrible example, but it's a good example at the same time. I just saw the comments there. I posted this on my main feed, and then I posted it again on the brand page. But I sped up a little bit so Instagram wouldn't see that it's the same piece of content, but I sped up a little bit too much, so I sound like a really high-pitched voice, which is why we've got a really lovely comment from Sam here. Glad you're finally confident enough to use a real voice. So thank you, Sam, if you're watching this. Anyway, I'll show you an example of this, because this is kind of like cinematic editorial style of content which sells the brand and sells people on understanding what the brand is, and then we use other content to help them feel understood. Let me show you.
Seriously, what is the point of living under somebody else's blueprint? You get to realize that your character in this game of life is under your control. That you don't need to play it under somebody else's rules. And that's what One of One is all about. It's not about being different, it's about being you.
So as you can see, you can see the voice. Like, yeah, I sped up way too much. I felt like a child. Anyway. Yellow captions, looks like a movie. The clips, obviously cinematic, shows the lifestyle, the freedom, just in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of nature, having that freedom, having that experience, right? And obviously wearing the One of One joggers there in the start as well, just walking around with them, having that kind of creative time, that creative freedom. It shows the lifestyle and explains what the brand is. So this is kind of like that editorial style of content, people that already understand us. As you can see, comments are people from people that already are followers of the brand. Then I will post other types of content that are kind of community building. Like this is a really example from Finley, who I sent a shirt to, and he made some just awesome pictures of this. It's just a really good showcase of the brand itself, from a collaboration perspective, because again, he's another creator as well who's just been wearing the clothes, using the clothes, and shooting with the clothes, which is a really good example. Let me just plug in my laptop. So this is a good example of obviously us trying to build a kind of community around the brand, which is huge for us. There we go. Some of the other obviously stuff, product stuff, you know, flat lays, showing it on body, this type of thing, showing the actual site itself, people wearing it, different such situations, people wearing it, you know, just actually showing it in public, and this type of stuff. So, you know, product content is obviously a big part of what we're doing. Product content, UGC, and the kind of editorial stuff too. A bunch of stuff I've been doing at the moment as like a kind of an activation of the brand page is posting these kind of like editorial snippets of behind the scenes of creating the new campaign that end up having an action which reveals the dates. They all reveal in the same day. I posted 3 of these yesterday as a little activation for the brand page, so then I can go and start posting more content from the perspective of me telling stories, me speaking about the brand message, and that's the kind of goal moving forward with this as we move into the stages of August 1st being the launch, and the last one being here. as you can see, just basically product videos that kind of look normal to begin with, and then show August 1st as the date that we're launching. So the whole kind of goal of this is to kind of be able to build up the stage where people can just actually understand what the brand is, like understand, you know, oh cool, these are the designs, these are the clothes, you can kind of see them, you can understand the story of the brand, you feel understood when you get spoken to it. That is the last sentence I said there is what our main focus is on right now, is obviously growth at the top end, getting more people to see these videos, and then making people feel understood when they are watching these videos, so they feel like they're really connected to the brand. That's one of the biggest things there as well. Then actually kind of getting into some of the content that we've been creating for this recently. Sorry, there we go. One of the things that I'll show you is,
you have to trust that some grow up.
This style of video here, where it's like, again, editorial snippets showing the life, and we are building up brand association by using a quote from Steve Jobs while putting the text behind me as the model there, and building it into the setting on the wall. It's a creative cinematic. It speaks to the creators, but the quote speaks to the entrepreneurs, so it has that, you know, hybridization, that niche mix in between, and these are different styles of content that I'll be able to put out, obviously making loads of variations of these same versions, because I have different variations of me in this situation, and then I've got 3 other models and creators in the same situation as well, wearing different color shirts and everything. So it's perfect to kind of get that broader understanding of different product catalogs, different quotes that we associate with, different stories that can be told around it, different kind of cinematic settings that you can see the product in, that builds up that brand world. The other thing I've done here as well is created this video, which is kind of website content, which is me literally almost like a VSL, a story speaking through all the product catalog. So for someone that clicks onto the brand page, they can, the website, they can then watch this video and get a deeper understanding of all the products, because maybe most people who click onto the site don't understand what the product is or how it helps them. So this video can speak to that person. They can understand the details and understand the product story and little details that you get with it you may not know exist if you're just, you know, seeing an ad and going and checking it out. Like, we have that kind of whole ecosystem approach where people can obviously, yes, learn more about the products from the Instagram, but they can also learn more about the products from just the product page and the brand page itself. So that's why with version 2.0 that we're launching on August 1st, products is obviously improved and everything, yes, but so much is just the brand message and everything, and the way the brand is perceived through the content we put out. Very similar content on the brand socials to the website page, and then using people as our proof to back up everything that we're saying. UGC creators, creator partners, and me as the founder. It's probably the best way to sum it all up, basically. We have a message, we are then speaking about that message, and then we're backing up and proving that that message is true through people. So yeah, very simply, that's kind of our play. That's what we're going for. Where am I going? Wrong way. Here we go. That's very simply the play. That's what we're going for with the brand, and what we're kind of working towards. So if you have any questions, then obviously let me know in the comments, but I just kind of wanted to come in here and speak openly about the strategy that we're kind of moving through, and yeah, what we aim to do. And you know, you got to see my kind of Unreal drawings of what we're doing here, and everything. So yeah, thanks for watching. This is kind of just like a breakdown of everything I'm doing. Not necessarily too much like value for you, which is more of documentation for me, and if you're kind of doing the same thing, you kind of just get a deeper understanding of it. Or maybe you're a super fan of the brand and you kind of want to understand the behind the scenes of this, in which case send me a message on Instagram if you have any questions, comment anything, just like, subscribe, and yeah, good shit. I'll let you know when this shit fucking works. All right, peace.